Okay, so we are now on Rumi's third text, which is Music Master. Right? Music Master by Rumi. You that love lovers, this is your home. Welcome. In the midst of making form, love made this form that melts form. With love for the door, soul the vestibule. Watch the dust grains moving in the light near the window. Their dance is our dance. We rarely hear the inward music, but we're all dancing to it nevertheless, directed by the one who teaches us the pure joy of the sun, our music master. When I am with you, we stay up all night. When you're not here, I can't go to sleep. Praise God for these two insomnias and the difference between them. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. We are the mirror as well as the face in it. We are tasting the taste this minute of eternity. We are pain and what cures pain, both. We are the sweet, cold water in the jar that pours. I want to hold you close like a lute, so we can cry out with loving. You would rather throw stones at a mirror? I am your mirror, and here are the stones. That's Rumi's Music Master. Alright, surprise, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna really discuss it because this is your job. Alright, so before we get into the instructions though, alright, so this should be pretty easy for you now that we've gone through two discussions of Rumi, and I've shown you how for most of his texts, for most of his poems, his idea that love and faith are the same is going to be found in almost all of his texts. All right, so it's going to be easy for you to do this work on your own. All right, so but before we go into a discussion on the instructions, because we're supposed to do something with it. Let me just tell you something about this particular text. Alright, so if you noticed, it's different from the first two that we discussed, granite and wine glass and buoyancy, in that you can see page breaks. What are page breaks? They're these little squiggles. I don't know what else to call them, because if you see them in fiction, it's called page break. Alright, so these are all parts of the same poem, Music Master. Okay, so that's one page break, one page break, one page break, page break, page break. All right, now let's just call each one a fragment. Okay, what are you supposed to do? Okay, for your individual work, which is going to go into your class standing, assuming that we are going to be able to go back to class and retain the usual way of grading you, this is what you're supposed to do. Okay, so it's individual work, and it's going to be a reflection paper on Rumi's Music Master. So you're supposed to take any fragment from Music Master and write an essay on how you understand it on two levels. First, on the level of love, and then after that, you bring it up to a discussion of the divine. Alright, so kind of like how we did the first discussion. Okay, so when I say fragment, I mean, okay, so this is one fragment. Second fragment, third fragment, fourth, fifth. Okay, so choose any of those five, just one of those five fragments, then copy that onto the page, right? Single spaced, all right? Single spaced and left justified. Okay? Times New Roman 12. Now, underneath that, you're supposed to answer the reflection question on in essay form. Okay? We'll put a maximum of 2 pages, but if you feel like you can answer it in 1 page, that's fine as well. All right, as long as you get to answer properly. Now, when you send it, okay, let's just bring this up. Okay, well, I don't know. We can do that way. All right, so when you send it to me via email, you're going to change your file name. All right, so that when I download it, it's going to be in proper alphabetical order. All right, so change your file name when you attach it to the email. Make sure that your file name is done this way. So section all caps dash your last name lowercase letters, then dash SW1 for seat work 1. Okay, so for example, if your section is 2A18, all caps 2A18 dash Marville, your last name dash SW1. So make sure that your file name is that way. Then send it to my email dlmarville@ust.edu.ph. When does it due? When classes resume. Okay, so just do it on your own pace. I'm not going to require you to send it immediately. Just make sure that you know something like this is required of you. Up to you when you want to do it. All right, so it's either this is due when classes resume, or when the semester ends. Okay, so anyway, we'll probably get I guess when we get a clear idea of when classes will resume or what's going to happen to the rest of the semester, we'll talk more about due dates. But just for now, just make sure that you know that this requirement exists, but there's no actual due date just yet. And just keep it at the back of your head. All right, so that one's for individual work, and this one is going to be the instruction for your for individual work that's going to be considered as a quiz. All right. So you're going to write a comparative essay in Dante Alighieri's Inferno, Canto 5, Circle 2, and Rumi's texts, Granite Wineglass, Buoyancy, and Music Master. All right, so take the entire thing as a whole, right? So what's a comparative essay? You're essentially going to compare and contrast Dante Alighieri's work, the one excerpt that we discussed in particular, and Rumi's 3 texts, right? Now focus on only one of these 3 points of comparison, meaning you don't have to. Okay, so when we say compare and contrast, it means you look for similarities, differences, okay? And you're only going to use 1 point of comparison. Choose any of these 3. Right, so 1 point of comparison would be their ideas of faith and love. How are they different from each other? How are they similar from each other? And you base your answers on Canto 5 and the 3 texts that we discussed. Okay, or even just the 2, Wineglass, Granite and Wineglass, and Buoyancy. All right, because technically we didn't discuss Music Master. Okay, so that's 1 point of comparison. The second point of comparison, if you want to choose option number 2, passion and rationality. Again, how are they similar in how they define passion, or are they different when it comes to the idea of passion? Similar when it comes to rationality, or different? Okay. The third point of comparison would be the writer's beloved as an influence in their writing, right? Because in both Dante Alighieri and Rumi, we discussed person in their history who have acted as their beloveds, and you could discuss how that them loving that person influence their writing. So are they similar or are they different from each other when it comes to that? All right, so again, just choose 1 point of comparison from these three. All right, so maximum of 3 pages. There's no minimum. So if you feel like you can answer this in 1 page, good for you. All right. Um, just make sure that on top, after your name, you write there which point of comparison you've chosen. All right. So we're putting in a maximum of 3 pages times New Roman 12 double spaced. Okay. For your file name, again, just like the other one, make sure that when you attach your work to the email that you're going to send to me, make sure that it follows this particular file name section, lowercase letters for your last name, dash Q1 for quiz 1, because this is going to be taken as a quiz. So send it to my email, dlmarfield@ust.edu.page. And again, when does it due? It's either when classes resume, or if classes don't resume, it's going to be till the end of the semester. But then again, as I said, since it's not going to be due anytime, hopefully we'll get a clearer idea of what's going to happen with the rest of the semester. Just keep in mind that these two requirements exist, right? So that's about it. So I hope you guys are staying safe, staying sane somehow, I guess, because that's about the only thing that we can do during these times. So yeah, what's going to be our next discussion? I think it's going to be Emily Dickinson. All right, so just hope you guys are hanging in there. Okay, bye. I'll see you probably next week.